Hi everyone, this is Lisa Espinosa, spiritual career coach, author, and host of the podcast Soul Studio for Your Career. I am so happy to be here with you today for our day 4 of this 5-day journey that we've been taking together. If you are new to this transmission, I welcome you and feel free to start with this one, but you might want to go back afterwards to watch the first 3. They are recorded, so they're here on my Facebook page, and they're also on my website under the free resources Soul Videos tab. So before we begin, I just want to say, wherever you are, particularly right now, if you're watching this from, I'm in Chicago, if you're watching this from this country, the United States, there's a lot going on, and I know around here it was kind of an intense night. So wherever you are, I'm just sending you my love and my prayers, and even if you're physically safe, just, there's a lot going on in the world. And I know as sensitive people, you might have a personal connection to what's unfolding, or even if you don't, just feeling the hurt of the world right now. So I just want to name that as we start this new month today, June 1st. And Lara, hello. And so today's chapter, the chapter we're going to talk about today in my book, is practice number 3, learning the language of your soul. So why is that important? That's always important. So, I want you to understand, even if you're watching this and you're like, oh, is this indulgent? Is this not important when all of these things are going on? It is more important, because remember that your soul, first of all, loves you unconditionally, and your soul is wise, eternally tapped into source, eternally tapped into divine inspiration, creative solutions, answers to the world's problems that we can't access through our intellect and logic alone. So when things seem to be going really wrong with the world at times, when there's a lot of problems in the world, that is even more of a reason to gather together in this way and to remember, first of all, that our soul connection is meant to be a daily practice. And my focus is to help you do that, so that you can evolve your career from that place, from your soul's guidance. And why is that important? Because I really believe that we are being guided to share our medicine through our career to help the world, to help the world evolve and move into the next evolutionary stage. And whenever, I think I shared this in another transmission as well, whenever we're in that kind of period of before the breakthrough, right? Think about yourself personally. If you've gotten through experiences that have been very challenging, and often it feels so hard, and then there's a breakthrough and there's a light, right? And then when you're on the other side, you can even look back and even be grateful for the challenging times, right? So as a planet, we're going through that right now as well, right? There's all these breakdowns that are happening. So there is going to be a breakthrough, and we are being called. If you are here, I believe that you're part of the, wonderful women and men. Christina, hello. Kathleen, hey. Hello. That are here to midwife our planet into this next evolutionary being. Hello, Karen. So a couple of things about learning the language of your soul. The truth is that you're relearning it. You're just remembering, because it is the most natural thing in the world to communicate with your soul. I think, why would your soul make that complicated? Your soul wants you to express her gifts in the earth plane. And when I say her, please know your soul is beyond gender. I'm just going to use that pronoun for now. So why would your soul make it be complicated, or like you need special training or special cushions or special music or go to a special ashram or temple or even church space? All of those things can be wonderful and beautiful, but they're not mandatory, they're not necessary. So I tell a story, or I compare it in my book to like imagining if you had a childhood friend that you were so close to. Like, think of yourself as a child. Maybe you did have a childhood friend like this that spoke another language, but you were so close, you knew each other since babies, that you knew her language. So it was just like so natural for you to talk to her and communicate with her, and for her to talk to you. But then as you got older, You stopped connecting with her, and at some point just kind of forgot that language. That's what it is with our soul. We forget, and this practice is a remembering practice. We're remembering that, oh yeah, I meant to communicate with my soul always. So one of the first things, so I've got my little clipboard here with my bullet points because I want to make sure to stay focused. First principle here for you to remember is that your soul is always communicating with you. There isn't a moment where your soul is not communicating with you. However, communicating can take on different, it doesn't need to mean talking to you, like using words. Your soul's always in the process of communicating her love for you. So it could be through feelings, through, all these different ways that your soul communicates with you. It's not always words. So that's really important for you to know. And the other thing about that is that your soul leads you step by step. So specifically, if we're talking about your career or sharing your medicine with the world, your soul is going to give you one step, and then when you take that step, the next step will be provided. Now, of course, there's situations where you might get more of a blueprint, but when you're really committed to your soul's guidance, when you're really committed to expressing your gifts in the most authentic, courageous, beautiful way, a lot of the journey is not like a whole blueprint, right? That isn't how our soul speaks to us, which is so frustrating to our ego, right? Our ego wants to know all of the steps. So like when I left teaching, 10 years ago, and that first, in fact, I'm going to read that little part here. I had that marked off. So this is just like the second paragraph in this chapter about learning the language of your soul. So what do you do? This is somebody asking me this. That first September away from teaching, I could feel my inner parts eager to get busy because I hate it when people ask. I hated it back then when people asked me that. Like, what do you do? You're leaving teaching for what? Teaching had been so consuming that I had sadness and hurts that I simply never had time to feel. But now I had lots of time and I was feeling everything. I prayed for direction and guidance, and all I received was the sense that I was supposed to wait. Waiting was hard for me. I didn't do it very gracefully. And still I had a deep knowing that even if I didn't know what it was, I was on the right path. So in those moments, right, that September, when I dropped off my kids at school and didn't go in there with them because my kids went to the school where I taught, and I was sobbing as I was driving home because I wasn't going in with them. I wanted the blueprint, but my soul was not giving me the blueprint. My soul was giving me one step at a time. And now looking back, I think, wow, how wise my soul was, because I needed to learn how to relearn this language of my soul. I needed to remember, first of all, I needed to feel my sadness. I needed to feel the feelings. Your soul is never, ever going to guide you to skip or bypass your emotions. Never. Which is why so many people give up on this journey, because and it's only human, right? That we want to skip the heavy feelings. But our soul knows that when we skip, we're not skipping, we're exiling it inside of us, where it's in there and it's going to harm us in some way, whether it's physically, emotionally, or mentally. So your soul will never guide you to rush through anything. So one, your soul is always communicating with you, but it's not always necessarily communicating with you in words. So that's really important. And what I was saying also, that your soul will guides you step by step. And actually, the more committed you are, the more this happens. That it's almost like your soul might guide you to take a step, and you won't get the next step until you take that one. And I have experienced this so many times in my life. I recently when I was sharing about signing up for this new kind of certification program, that I had so much resistance and did a lot of prayer and meditation. And even after I decided yes, I was still putting off actually making the payment and all of these things. And it was like everything else was on hold. I mean, I was still living my life, but I could tell that my soul was just like, okay, I'm just going to wait here till you finish taking that step and then we'll provide more. I was like, so just for you to know that. Also, communicating with your soul is an act of receiving. Remember from the first transmission when I talked about the soul qualities, one of them was receptivity. So learning to communicate with your soul is in effect a journey of learning to receive from your soul. That's why those interrupter rituals are so powerful. That's why taking the time during the day to pause, bring your hands to your heart, and just say, okay, I'm willing to receive from you. That is so powerful. Even if in that moment you don't receive sentences and words, just receiving your soul's love, your soul's wisdom, your soul's transmission, the words will come at exactly the right time. So communicating with your soul is an act of receiving. So the better you get at receiving, the better you get at talking, communicating with your soul. And we have so much trauma around receiving, right? Remember, receiving isn't entitlement. It doesn't mean that you become this, selfish person that never gives to others. No. And this is about knowing that we must be balanced. That if we're always giving, at some point we're going to burn out. And we totally turn off our connection with our soul. So being in this beautiful place of receiving, and it is a practice, is what enhances, greatly accelerates your capacity to receive guidance from your soul. And I want to share, a lot of times my clients and students who've been working with me for a long time, when they're first developing their intuition, and they might come here for a session, or virtual right now, all remote, for a session, or as I'm doing Reiki on them, especially if they're learning Reiki themselves, but not just them. They might make comments like, well, I'm not as intuitive as you. I don't hear things like you do. I don't, see visions or hear words or all of that. And I say this all the time, I'm going to say this to you, it's all practice. When I first started doing Reiki, for example, if you don't know what Reiki is, it's a form of energy healing, usually hands-on, not necessarily for sure. It's a very intuitive art form, an intuitive modality. And, I was so intimidated by other Reiki masters, who would talk about their sessions and say all these things that had happened. And I was just like, there is no way I could ever receive all that when I work on someone, that I could be that tapped in. I just had so much, that seemed like an impossible thing. It seemed like they had said they had climbed Mount Everest, and I was like, there's no way I'm ever going to be able to do that. And yet, as I kept just practicing and meditating and pausing and receiving from my soul and doing all the practices that I talked about, right? Committing to my soul over and over, doing my inner healing work, all of that started to shift things for me, and I was starting to remember that I can communicate with my soul, that it is meant to be simple. And now I'm in a whole different place, and it continues to get enhanced and get better. It's a lifelong practice. But I just want to say that to you, that if you're watching this and you're like, well, I'm not intuitive at all. First of all, that's not true. And second of all, it is a practice. That's the only difference. And when I've led many, many Reiki trainings and learning your intuition, what determines who gets better at it than others, it's not their innate ability. It's not like, oh, that person was just born with all these intuitive gifts. It's practice. It's the people who commit. Even if at first they're like, I cannot tell anything about what my soul is talking about. I'm clueless. As long as they're committed and they practice, that's what makes a difference. So I want to say that to you. And if you're watching this and you're highly intuitive, awesome. And let's take it to the next level, right? Really, because, I'll pause there. So let me look here. Yep, okay, so this is the other thing. In general, your soul does not speak to you with a sense of urgency. Now, there are exceptions. People talk about, life and death situations where your soul might have just been like, get out, right? There might have been a message like that. So there are exceptions. But in general, throughout your day, every day, your soul doesn't have a sense of urgency. It's a very calm, often the quietest voice inside, which is why we need to create moments throughout our day to be in stillness, to hear that voice, to become familiar with it. Again, I know you're busy and many of you have children or there's all these things that are in place. So I'm not talking about, having hours and hours throughout the day where you can just kind of sit in a meditative state. When I started meditating, let me drink a little water. When I first started this journey, I started this journey, since I was born really, but when I explicitly started this journey of explicitly committing to my soul and wanting to create more stillness, my children were, I have 5 children, if I haven't said that before, if you don't know, I have 5. They're, my youngest now is 19, so amazing. But when I started this, they were younger, and I was a 7th grade teacher and incredibly busy. So, and even now as they're older, it's still, you're always a mom. So please understand, all of the practices that I write about, it is always with an understanding that this is written for people who have full lives. So when I say that it is absolutely important that you practice every day throughout the day, pausing to connect with your soul, that's what I mean. A pause can be a minute. And the wonderful thing about when you do that is that you crave it more, you want it more, you need it more, and then your life starts to rearrange itself so that you can create more time during your day for that. It's not a logical process, so don't even ask me how that works, but I've experienced it and my clients have experienced it. I can't even count how many times. So your soul doesn't speak to you with a sense of urgency, and your soul has a unique language that is just your language with your soul that nobody else knows. So the beauty of this journey, if you let yourself enjoy it, is starting to learn, well, how does my soul speak to me? What does it sound like and feel like when my soul is talking to me? And not get attached to, especially at first, to words. I want to hear specific answers right now, right? It might, that your soul might know, you really don't. Because that's the other principle here, is your soul knows, and I said this before, that the biggest block to hearing your soul's guidance is fear. Number 1, the biggest block to hearing your soul's guidance is fear. So your soul, who's so loving and wise, knows exactly what you're ready to hear. If my soul had told me when I first left teaching that, and I was so eager and desperate to know, give me the plan, what am I supposed to do? If in truth my soul had showed me an image of me being, doing anything that I'm doing right now, doing virtual Reiki sessions, being a Reiki master, leading Reiki trainings, writing my book, all of those things, I think my brain would have exploded because that would have paralyzed me because I was just in a different place then. So your soul knows always exactly what you're ready for. And what you might be ready for in the beginning, what you might need the most, is just stillness with your soul. It's just starting to remember what that feels like. It might be feeling your sadness, your disappointment, feeling even fears that are there. And again, that's why all these practices in my book are so overlapped, right? Because as you do that, you can use that practice number 2 of naming and embracing your fears, like, oh gosh, yeah, I have this fear, or I have this sadness. Many times when I see clients and they're eager to evolve their career and they just want to get going and just hustle through it, and they're like, okay, tell me what to do. They just want to, they're hardworking and they want to do all these things. And often what the news I have to break to them that their soul is saying is like, right now, there's actually not much to do right now. Is there's unprocessed grief that needs to happen, grieving. Which, who wants to hear that, right? Like, I don't want to hear that either. But sometimes that's what it is. And when the beautiful thing is that when you align with your soul, it doesn't have to be a long journey. It doesn't have to be a trauma. It's not about re-traumatizing yourself. But it's, again, that your soul will never, ever guide you to bypass a truth, to bypass a healing that is necessary, to exile your own hurting parts. So yeah. So that's really important. And let me look here. I talked about that. Okay, so this is the other thing. If you receive guidance from your soul, hey Kathy, hey Donna, Leticia, you can always ask for more clarity. And this will become more clear when I talk about the 3 different ways your soul speaks to you. But I just want to say that if you feel that you're hearing your soul's guidance, but you're not sure, it's absolutely fine to say, I think this is what you're saying, soul, but I'm not sure. I have so much doubt. I have so much fear. Please, like, send me so many signs that this is what I'm hearing. I mean, I literally sometimes I'm like, put it on a billboard, hit me over the head with it. I need so many signs that I'm on the right path because I have so much fear. Your soul is not going to judge you. Your soul understands. So always remember, you can always ask for more clarity. So let's talk about the 3 different ways your soul speaks to you. Okay? And this is really important. Super simple, but really important. 1, your soul speaks to you directly. What does that mean? Directly means you directly hear your soul. So in the, when I talk about in the first, whenever this 5-day journey started, and day number 1, when I shared my story of being in the classroom, right, teaching 7th grade and hearing my soul say, your time here is done. That was a direct guidance from my soul. I heard that. It doesn't have to be words. You might see an image, right? Maybe you go into meditation or prayer with a question and you see an image that gives you the answer. Or you just kind of, it just pops into your mind, you just know it. In this chapter, I describe the different clairs, clairsentience, claircognizance, clairvoyance. Some people smell, like you might ask a question and then like a smell of roses comes, and that is something that's meaningful to you. So there's these direct ways that your soul can speak to you. That is what our soul is training us to become masterful at, because it saves time. If you can get to the point where if you have first of all, you're in an ongoing conversation with your soul, but if something has come up in your life that you are really wanting discernment with, of course, the fastest, most efficient way would be for you to be able to, and for me, it's always bringing my hands to my heart, but it could be different for you, and to check in with your soul and say, like, soul, please guide me with this decision. And boop, there's the answer in your brain, and and you trust it, and you follow it, and there you are. That's what our soul is guiding us to do. However, we're human. We're human, and not only are we human, we're not surrounded in our world, most of us don't have a lot of validation, a lot of examples of people who are living in this way. And this isn't any judgment. It's just factual, right? Our culture in particular really values the intellect, the logic. So when you are committed to following your soul's guidance, it's a radical revolutionary act. People will label it naive or childish or indulgent or woo-woo or all those words, when in reality it is so courageous. It is so courageous to follow your soul's guidance. So I say all this to say it's not easy, even though it's simple because your soul wants it to be simple. It is not easy because we have our parts that are afraid, and we have the world around us that can try to talk us out of following our soul's guidance. So thank goodness we also have, your soul can speak to you directly, and your soul can speak to you indirectly. So there's direct guidance and indirect guidance. What is indirect guidance? Synchronicity, dreams, signs in nature, other people, divination tools like oracle cards, which I use all the time, but there's also, pendulums and all these others. My favorite is oracle cards. All of these are indirect ways that your soul can also communicate with you. And the beauty of it, of knowing, there's direct ways and there's indirect ways that my soul speaks to me, it becomes a partnership, because what starts to happen, if you really commit to following your soul's guidance, if you commit to deepening your relationship with your soul every day throughout the day, you're gonna start hearing direct guidance. And when you say, I think this is what you're telling me, so but please send me signs. What you're praying for is send me indirect guidance that I'm on the right path, right? So for example, like oracle cards, they're not predictors of your future. That's not what they are. Oracle cards are a way for your soul to also communicate with you, that can bypass your fear. And the beauty about oracle cards is that 90% of the time they're validating something you already were feeling. So after some point when you start to play with oracle cards, even if at first you're like, oh, this is just fun and it's, I'm not going to take it too seriously, which is fine. You shouldn't take it seriously, but maybe you at first don't understand the sacredness of it. But then at some point when you start to notice, oh my gosh, I keep getting the same card over and over and over, or I was just having this prayer in my heart and this card is absolutely perfectly speaking to that. Or, you know what, I'm going to put this card back in the deck because I don't like it, and I'm just going to shuffle all these cards, and there's the card again. You start to realize, oh, my soul is speaking to me through these cards. My soul is speaking to me through synchronicity, right? Synchronicity is so powerful. So, I mean, how many times does it happen in my life where I hear the title of a book and I'm kind of like, that sounds interesting, but I let it go. And then suddenly, whatever, just somebody else mentions it, or I turn on, look at Facebook and somebody's talking about it then, there's like all these signs that your soul's like, yes, pay attention, read this book, read this book, read this book. Dreams, I know sometimes, our soul can speak to us through our dreams, through signs in nature. I love how animals can come into our dreams, or literally have animal encounters. That is another way for our soul to speak to us. So indirect guidance provides often the validation that we need for the direct guidance that we are receiving. And then the final way that our soul speaks to us, which is also a form of indirect guidance, is through our spirit guides, spiritual teachers. These could be angels, these could be, master teachers like, Mother Mary or Kuan Yin or Green Tara or Jesus or Buddha, all these beings of love and light that are, yes, some religions are really devoted to them, but they are beyond religion. They are these ascended masters, many of them who had human lives as well before, who lived on the earth plane. And from across the veil, they are very present, helping us, helping you to align with your soul's guidance, helping you to create your legacy of love, helping you to share your soul's medicine in the way that only you can share. Because remember, nobody else has your soul's medicine. If you don't share it, that medicine will be lost for the world. So these guides are unconditionally loving. They have no agenda other than to help you. So if you, connect already with one or two or more of them, they can help with this process as well. So direct guidance, indirect guidance, and spirit guides, they all work together for you to master communicating with your soul, having it be something that's ongoing and consistent no matter what is going on in your life. So not only when you're on vacation or retreat, and not only when there's crisis, because that tends to be when people gravitate towards their soul, right? There's either something wonderful happening, and it's like, or they're out of their regular routine on vacation or in a yoga retreat, and they're feeling like, oh gosh, yeah, I want to connect with my soul. Or crisis, loss of a loved one, or relationship ending, or losing a job or whatever, and then suddenly you get very sober of like, wait, what am I doing with my life? That it's great to have that happen during those times, but we don't live in those times, right? We want to be able to live in a way where you're ongoing and consistently communicating with your soul. That's what's going to help you individually and help our world as it goes through these painful birthing pains that it's going through right now. So let me look and see if there's anything else before, because what I want to do is I want to lead a meditation, and because it's the 1st of June, I want to do a June reading for you. So 3 cards. It's also a form of indirect guidance, so it goes with our teaching today. But let me just kind of tune in and as I look at this and see. Yeah, so I'll just say this. So obviously your soul has many, many messages that it can give you. There's 3 that I have identified that are very common. They kind of like go in cycles. So the first message, which we tend to hate hearing, is wait. And I write about that in my book, right? That it's like you feel that you're ready to take action. You feel that you're ready to know. And your soul just keeps, the guidance keeps being wait. Now you might literally hear the word wait, or you might just feel like there's nothing happening right now. The message is I just need to wait. During the waiting stage, there's often a lot of inner work happening, a lot of inner healing. This is a time where, you are, like for me, right after I left teaching, where it was like I suddenly had more time than I had before because my kids were off at school. I still had no clients. My husband was working. And like I said, I was feeling all this stuff that I hadn't been able to feel before because I was so busy. So yes, my soul was saying wait, but I wasn't just sitting there, staring at a wall. I was feeling all these things. I was processing. I was working with my coach, my mentor, and helping me, heal these parts of me. So during the waiting period, often you're doing so much inner work that is invaluable to the next phase of your career, even if it feels disconnected from that. The next stage, usually after wait, is the answer is coming. It's almost like you've waited, and there's almost like this peace, like you've come to acceptance of the waiting, and then you start to see like signs start to come up. There starts to be movement, momentum, and you don't have total clarity yet, but you're starting to feel like, oh, something's coming. There's an answer coming. I feel this, there's different things going on in your life. So you might be in some area in your career, it might be wait. In some area, you might be like, ooh, guidance is coming. So I'm just giving you this so you start to notice that for yourself. And then the final stage is take action, right? It's like your soul's like, all right, you're ready, take action. And so funny that usually what happens, even though when we were in the waiting stage, we were like, come on, can you give me some clear guidance on what I'm supposed to do? Then you accept that and you're at peace with that. And then it goes to take action. And many times at that point, our parts can really freak out, right? Then our parts are like, are you sure? Am I really ready? I don't know if I'm ready. I think I need to do more research. And that's the last thing I'll say, that when finally you feel your soul saying, it's time to take action, whether you're hearing those words or you're getting it through indirect guidance or a combination of both. These are the ways we resist it. 1, research. Oh my gosh, that is such a common way we resist. I see it in my clients. I do it myself. I try not to, but that whole, analysis paralysis, it's like your soul's like, it's time, start your book or start teaching these classes or start integrating the, more spirituality into your, modality that you do. And you panic and one of your parts is like, you know what? I think you need to do more research. And you just go down the rabbit hole of research. And that's one way. The other way is waiting for permission, which is, what I mean by that is like, you look at your life and you're like, you know what? I think I need to wait. I need to wait till my kids are older. I need to wait till my husband feels better. I need to wait till our house is repaired. I need to wait till my health is totally fine. I need to wait until I'm totally healed from all my trauma in my life. I need to wait until my finances are absolutely stable. It's almost like we're waiting for permit. Like the universe is going to come and say, Lisa, now everything is perfect. Now you can take action and follow your soul's guidance. That is not how it works. I just want to tell you that. Am I saying be completely reckless and don't, take care of the things you have to take care of? Of course not. And your soul would never guide you to be reckless. But absolutely, does your soul guide you to take leaps of faith? 100% yes. I would not be here had I waited for everything to be perfect in my life. First of all, it would have never happened and I would have not done anything. So I want you to know that and just notice that and have compassion when it happens, when you notice it. All right. So let's go ahead and do a little quick inner journey meditation see what your soul has to say to you today as we stepped into June, the 6th month. We're halfway through 2020, right? Like, and the summer solstice is coming. A big portal opens then. You know, we're really connecting, you know, summer solstice is all about our divine masculine energy. It's about being seen, being in the light, taking action. Not the wounded masculine. We all know what that looks like. This is the healed inner divine masculine that is totally devoted to the feminine. May, Mother's Day, right? I did my Divine Mother retreat. June, summer solstice, Father's Day, right? So now it's like all the inner work of the first 6 months of the year. Now your soul's like, all right, summer solstice is coming. You're going to walk through that portal, shine your light, and be seen in whatever way that looks like for you. No comparison to anybody else. It look just right for you. So let's go ahead and bring our hands over to our heart center. Take some nice cleansing breaths. And I just call in a beautiful circle of golden, white, magenta light to surround each one of you who are here live, who are watching this transmission as a recording. And to surround our whole circle, so all of us here together, surrounding us in this circle of grace and miracles and healing and guidance. And knowing that your soul is so eager for you to receive her love, her guidance, her wisdom, her solutions, her creative ideas, her inspiration, for your benefit and the benefit of those you love and the benefit of the world. So see yourself standing on this beautiful golden path, and we are now in June, so see yourself on this golden path that represents your highest path of 2020, and you're standing there on June 1st, looking at the remaining 6 months of the year. Behind you are the past 6 months, and as you're here with your beautiful soul, your soul's blessing your path, and you're asking your soul, beautiful soul, this month of June. So just ask the question, and you can say it out loud if you have privacy, if you're comfortable, or just say it in your heart. Beautiful soul, what is it that you want me to share with the world this month? What part of my medicine do you want me to share more with the world this month? What part of my medicine do you want me to share with the world more this month? And just receive those answers in your heart, whether you hear them right now or not. Your soul always answers. Again, what part of my soul's medicine are you guiding me to share this month? And for some of you, it might be something completely new. For some of you, I'm hearing it might be something you've already shared, but you're going to share it more deeply. Some of you, it might be behind the scenes. Some of you might be right front and center. Again, just listen. Your soul knows exactly what it looks like for you. And then finally, we will just ask this question, beautiful soul, what are you guiding me to release, to let go of this month? What are you guiding me to release, to let go of this month? What are you guiding me to release, to let go of this month? This, whatever it is something that's going to help you actually share more of your medicine. So I'm just hearing your soul saying, like, releasing clutter, whatever the clutter is for you, but it's like releasing whatever is making things complicated. So you can ask that question, what is adding complication to my life that is unnecessary? So help me release that. And then in this space, as you stand on your beautiful golden path, specifically on June, see the summer solstice, which is June 20th, I believe. I want you to visualize this like golden sun, like a portal that is the summer solstice. And know that you are being prepared from now till that day. So with deep gratitude, bring the palms of your hands together. Receive your soul's love. Sending love to all the different parts of you. If any parts of you are feeling extra tender or vulnerable in this moment, let them receive your soul's compassion. And we end this journey with a namaste. Namaste, everyone. Stretch. I'm going to burn some, no, I'm not going to burn actually. I'm going to spray some rose spray. Rose. Notice how, first of all, if you didn't receive any clarity right now when you ask those questions, that's perfectly normal. You just always ask, know that your soul answers, and the answer will come to your consciousness at exactly the right time. And notice how I repeated the question. That's a really powerful way to get answers. Just repeat the question over and over. And you can always come back and watch this recording and hear me ask it if that helps you. Again. All right, so I want to do the card reading, and I was so blessed this weekend to get 3 new oracle decks. I was just gonna buy one, but I was so happy that Barnes & Noble was having curbside pickup. I mean, I love Barnes & Noble, and not being able to go there was like really, so I was like, curbside pickup, and I got 2, and then a lovely student clients also mailed me a deck, so it was like oracle deck extravaganza. So I'm gonna start with this one, Soul Coaching by Denise Linn. So the question, this is, since it's June 1st, I'm seeing this as a June spread. And actually I'm seeing it as a from now to the summer solstice, okay? So message about your medicine, about sharing your medicine. And please remember that you share your soul's medicine first with yourself. Your soul's medicine is meant to heal you. So you receive it for yourself and then you share it with others. So what message is here? Gratitude. This is a glorious time to be alive, and I'm so grateful. Look at her with her arms up. And gosh, you know, this can be sometimes challenging, right? If it feels like things are challenging. But what this is saying, that our soul is always grateful. Remember, our soul is eternally tapped into source. It is in a state of receptivity. So, you know, aligning with gratitude is going to be so important. It always is, but like this is this message from now to the solstice. As you prepare to walk through that portal, create some tangible practice of gratitude. You know, being grateful for yourself, first of all. That's like the number one thing. Really appreciate your courage, your commitment, your love, all that you've done. That's one of the hardest things to be grateful for. And so really be grateful for that. So gratitude. And then this is the Moonology deck. Moon. So when I have new decks, they're harder to shuffle because I haven't used them as much. All right. Hi, good. Okay, I was trying to pick one, but 2 came out. First one, hold your vision. It's a very powerful card. It's like you have a vision. Remember, your soul always provides vision, a vision. I remember talking to a client once and she was like, I don't need a blueprint, I need a vision. And it was like she perfectly captured, that's what our soul does. Our ego wants a blueprint and a plan and everything spelled out. Your soul provides visions. So whatever your vision is, for June, for the rest of the year, like it's saying like hold that vision. Hold it in your heart, right? Hold that vision. And then we have, all right, hold that vision. And we have be bold and make the first move. All right. It's very clear. Hold your vision. Don't waver from it. Hold it with love, not clenching, holding like, okay, here's my vision. And then be bold and make the first move. You know, so whenever you catch yourself like, I'm going to wait for them to be interested first, or I'm going to wait for them to reach out first. This is saying be bold and make the first move. There's like, this is not subtle at all. So just so you know, be bold and make the first move. And I'm really hearing that for some of you, this is the stretch for June. This is the divine masculine energy for you. And I know I can be in that place too. You know, that I can be in a place of, not exactly passivity, I mean, I can be in that place, but more like waiting for others to make the first move. Even if I'm in a group, if I'm not the facilitator, I can wait for others to speak first. And this is saying be bold and make the first move. So it'll be specifically to you, but don't ignore this. I love this. And then the last one, fairy deck. I love all the decks. This is, I should have said who the other one, this is Karen K Fairies. And I'll show you the moon one. All right. Finally, we're getting a sentence here, the last card. Fairy spotting. It's time to go fairy spotting. It's said that seeing is believing, but in fact the opposite is true. Believing is seeing. Look at that. So this is really such a like a magical, like, I mean, literal. Fairies are like nature angels, right? There's that aspect of it. But also that message, right? The opposite is true. Believing is seeing. So this is so connected to hold your vision. Believe it. For those of you who are in my online coaching group, right? We're doing the impossible goal. Keep that vision of your impossible goal. You don't need to know how it's going to happen. I also love that it's like a young girl. So it's like really connecting with your inner child. So important as you commit to your soul's guidance, as you commit to sharing your soul's medicine. Your inner child is not only magical and, you know, all these wonderful things, but it keeps you honest. If you have been with children, you know, young children, you know, they are very honest, right? They're just like these transparent beings. So we have to connect with our inner child on this. This is connecting with our soul isn't a boring adult process. So what do we have? Gratitude. We have hold your vision. This is where I need a lot of arms. Gratitude, hold your vision. Be bold and make the first move. There we go. And fairy spotting. Believing is seeing. All right, my dears, there it is. All right, everyone. So lovely to connect with you. Tomorrow is our last day, so tomorrow we'll be putting it all together, right? And like, what now? What, right? You know, what's the next step? And also to remind you, on Thursday, Thursday, through the Infinity Foundation, I am teaching an energy chords class. And how is it connected to listening to your soul's guidance? You know, I'm going to be talking about energy anatomy and how do you strengthen those chords, and how do you, the chords of love and wisdom, and how do you declutter the chords that are not only not necessary but detrimental. And that creates static. That's the static that a lot of times makes it hard for us to hear our soul's guidance and hear our spirit guides. You have to register through Infinity, but it is a Zoom offering. So it's from 7 to 9. It will be recorded, so if you can't attend live, you can still attend that. I would love, love, love for you to join me. Yes, believing is seeing, Lorenza. Absolutely. I didn't even know you were on here. Great. So I'll send it through my newsletter. It's on my website and on my Facebook page as well, the Thursday class. And I hope to see you. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad. Thank you, Soul, for reminding me this. Tomorrow, it's not going to be at 10 a.m. Just long story. So it's actually it's going to be after my last client, which I think is 3 or 2 o'clock. I cannot remember right now, but I will put it in the comments because, yes, I meant to say that. So tomorrow is the last day. It will not be at 10. I apologize for the change. But again, it will be recorded. So if you don't catch it live, you can catch the transmission. I believe it's at 2. It'll be like at 2:15 or something like that. All right. I hope to see you then. Bye, everyone. Thank you all for being here. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. See ya.